Australian miner Base Titanium are bullish about mining of titanium on Kenya's coast. Now, they've invested over $300 million on the project and hope to start exporting in the fourth quarter of 2013. Laban-Cliff, Onserio caught up with the CEO, Tim Carstens, for more on this.
Tim Carstens, thank you very much for joining us on the program. You've invested $300 million in titanium mining project in the South Coast region in Kenya. How is this project coming along?
We first got involved with the Kwale project back in 2010. And since then we've worked on the design of the project, getting the financing together. Then we commenced construction in January of 2011, and we're now in the final stages of completing construction, so that we expect to be able to turn the plant on around the third quarter of this year, and then commence exports from our port facility in the fourth quarter of this year. In total, it's about a $300 million US dollar capital investment. The total investment, when you take into account working capital and various other costs, is closer to 350. So it's a very substantial investment.
What are some of the titanium byproducts you're targeting, and how is the market going to receive this?
We actually produce three products. Ilmenite and rutile are different forms of titanium dioxide, and the third product is what's called zircon. Ilmenite and rutile as titanium dioxide are predominantly used in the production of pigment. So every tin of paint you buy, every coloured piece of plastic, paper has titanium dioxide pigment in it. About 5% of the product goes into making titanium metal. So it's only a very small part of the market. It's predominantly pigment. The zircon is quite different. It's used as what's called an opacifier in particularly in the production of ceramics. It's what enables a tile to be white or a pastel colour.
In the recent past, you've been enrolled in a court tussle where the Kenyan government is asking you to sell 35% of your stake to a local investor. How has this impacted on your business?
I mean, the 35% was a regulation that simply was incapable of application. We'd done a lot of work and we've continued to do a lot of work with the sophisticated Kenyan investors, and there simply isn't the appetite yet for mining investment in this country. It's too early, and so achieving this 35% was just not feasible, and that was one of our big issues with it. Secondly, it was something that we just simply couldn't implement. If that stake was meant to be given away, then that just rendered everything uneconomic. So we resisted it because it simply didn't make sense for Kenya. It certainly didn't make sense for our project, and we felt was going to do a lot of damage to both our investors, but also Kenya's reputation. So that was the reason we resisted.
Through this government directive, we've seen companies like Goldplast pulling out of the Kenyan market. Do you see Base Titanium also following suit? Based on the way we're seeing the world here, where people are talking about completely, much more sensible policy now, I can't say that we'll pull out. Whether we end up with a mining regulation here that makes further investment in Kenya unattractive or not, I don't know. There are lots of factors in that. It's how competitive the regime is here relative to other places to go and develop projects, and obviously the prices for commodities have a big impact on the economics. But it's the one caution I've been giving in relation to the regulatory package that our Cabinet Secretary is developing, is that it's got to be looked at in terms of its competitiveness in the global market, because there's no point trying to get a bigger slice of a shrinking pie. The new Kenyan government has introduced the Ministry of Mining, led by Honourable Najib Balala, to look into the issues that miners face. Perhaps this could be an end to the courtroom battles you've been embroiled in?
I was enormously encouraged to see a Ministry of Mining, because it's a very clear statement by the President that he sees this as a significant contributor to Kenya's aspirations, and I think he's right in that. I've been very encouraged by the way our Cabinet Secretary has approached the task. He's only been in the role for a short period of time, but he's consulting widely. He's spending a lot of time listening to a number of stakeholders and seeking to understand the sector to shape a regulatory framework and an environment that's going to be conducive to investment.
Kenya is a mineral-rich region. How are you as Base Titanium able to manage stakeholder expectations from yourselves, the government and the local communities of where you undertake your mining?
One of the biggest challenges is managing expectations. And one of the expectations I think we all need to manage is this view of Kenya as being a resource-rich country. That's completely untested. You know, does Kenya have potential? Yes, it does. Do we know? No. Is it going to be as rich as the Congo? No, it's not. You know, so I think there needs to be a bit of pragmatism applied to this. You know, there's iron ore here for sure, but is it ever going to be economically viable? We just don't know. And until we encourage investment into the sector, with exploration companies coming in and really getting in there and drilling and exploring and identifying that opportunity, we just don't know how resource-rich Kenya is. But one thing Kenya is very rich in is capability. As a country, it's in an almost unique situation to capitalise on mining because of how developed it is relative to other countries when they first started their mining industries. And that's an enormous advantage for Kenya in avoiding what people sometimes call the resource curse. And it's that capability that we need to harness.
Yes, but we would like to get a quick return on these minerals.
Mining is a slow burn industry. It takes time. And there seems to be almost this feel of we have to do something today or it's all going to be gone. And that's simply not the case. Yeah, this takes decades to build momentum and move on. You know, success, I think, in the next 5 years will be measured in terms of having some serious, credible exploration companies in here really working on developing projects.
So team, you can assure us that Base Titanium is not pulling out of the Kenyan market?
Now, we're in Kenya to stay. It's one of the reasons we're all here as a company. Our whole management team are enormously excited by not just the potential of this project in isolation, but what it means for Kenya. And it's quite a unique, not unique, but it's a rare opportunity for a mining management team to build the first large-scale mine in a country. It's a good thing to have on the CV.